interesting Memorial Day games, to say the least. But so fellas, let's talk about these NBA fans, which I don't know what the world is going on. So we had a few incidents, starting Trey Young where he got spat on, also the popcorn throw in Philadelphia for us. Then also the water bottle incident with Kyrie Irving on Sunday. And then yesterday's game in the Wizards and the Sixers game where a fan ran onto the court trying to touch the backboard and pretty much got tackled. So, fellas,
Yeah.
your thoughts on just these fans going wild and just the thoughts on that, and then what as far as how can we remedy the solution? I'm gonna go with you first, Thad. Your thoughts.
They're all out of pocket. The last one, we don't need to talk too much about it. We've seen fans run on the court or the football field all the time. He didn't try to hurt anybody, just trying to, I guess, be on TV or whatever it is. That one wasn't that bad, but the other three are just egregious. I really don't have a solution. I don't know what it's going to take. I've heard some people say I kind of agree with it. One time it wouldn't hurt. I know a lot of people might not agree with me, but I think we might need to have a Malice in the Palace part 2. Just just to let these fans know that this is not a fairy tale. Like somebody, if this were to happen, this is something you would do on the streets, and this would be the result if you did it on the streets. So I just feel like I don't know, you can try to scare them. Like you see the guy in Boston got charges pressed against him. He was in jail, felony charges. They'll scare him a little bit, but there's always that one person that's going to feel bold enough to, do something crazy like that. I really don't know a solution, but it's getting out of hand. I know fans are antsy to get back in the stands after not having them last year because the bubble was okay, but seeing fans back in the stands, it just makes everything feel a little bit realer. But I don't know, man. They're out of pocket. They really are. I really don't know a solution besides somebody running up in the stands and handling their business one time. But I just I don't know the correct resolution. What's going to change it? Because these fines and stuff, it can only do so much.
Man, no problem. Your thoughts, JB?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go back. I think that I don't think there's really a solution to it. And I think this goes back to what he alluded to, like the Malice in the Palace. I think that God rest his soul, but I think that David Stern made a lot of mistakes in his decision. Like me and my friend were talking about this, and we talked about this years later. Like maybe we had this conversation about 3 years ago, but I think that there's no way in the world that those players should have gotten suspended for that long. When you look at what happened, you look at the circumstances of what happened, of how stuff was thrown at them and how fans were actually getting physical with them and stuff like that. I think that David Stern's decision to suspend Metta World Peace, Steven Jackson, Jermaine O'Neal, and those guys, I think actually that decision empowered fans. It made fans believe that I can do whatever I want to, and the players can't do anything to me. And, Dad just mentioned, tell me what other job you can go to a person, you can actually, excuse my language, but you can fuck with the person and nothing happens to you. Nothing else. Like if you went to another person's job and you were messing with them in the office, the person beat you up, you would be the one who would get in trouble. You would probably be the one that get arrested. And the person who actually did physical violence against you would actually not get in any trouble. But in the NBA, in the NFL, and in these other things, these fans can basically do whatever they want to do and not face any consequences. And I unfortunately, I think that the Malice in the Palace actually set the precedent where these fans think that they're basically untouchable. You can say whatever you want to, but there are going to be consequences. You can throw something, but there are going to be consequences. And I don't know a solution to it. What I would say is that instead of banning these people for 1 or 2 years, I think there need to be lifetime bans, and not just for that arena. You need to be banned from going to any, if you do something crazy at an NBA game, you can't go to any more NBA games. You need to just be on a blacklist, and not go to any more games.
Yeah, and I can understand your point too. And the thing about, and kind of wrap it around with the Malice in the Palace, you're right, because at the end of the day, how it all really started was somebody threw Bill on Ron Artest at that time. So obviously, your first inkling is like, okay, somebody just did this. My first instinct to fight, and like you said, this is the only place in most places where if you have that again, guess what's going to happen? Like, you know, as far as had that same type of incident happen again where the player reacts, he's going to be the one that's going to be negatively affected more so than the person. You're going to forget the person who threw the beer because this is how it is. You're going to forget.
Yeah.
You know, spat on Trae Young or threw the water bottle if they would have fought back. But my biggest thing, and I like what Boston did, they charged that guy with that water bottle. I think if you throw something in the throw something from the stands, you need to be charged because I understand like the lifetime bans and all, but in the same token, just like if I get this, I'm just gonna be devil's advocate. So say for instance, if I got thrown out of a game and say for instance I got a lifetime ban, what I'm gonna do? All I'm gonna do is, hey Thad, JB, buy a ticket for me and I pay you right back. Like how stringent is this ban? Granted, I may not buy it with my name, but I could surely get a friend or somebody to buy a ticket for me in that arena again.
Yeah,
I'm curious, and now my thing is, and the thing with MSG, I think MSG should have pressed charges. That's one of the things where I commend Trae Young for not you know what he was doing as far as just taking it on the chin. But I don't think it should be Trae's responsibility to see if charges need to be pressed. I think MSG should have been responsible for pressing charges for this person. I think when you do, because this is your venue. This is your venue. It shouldn't be up to the victim if you want to press charges or not. This is the venue that you are in. So that was my biggest thing is these guys gonna have to get charged. Like the water bottle thing, and people kept on justifying this. Well, it's a water bottle. No, that top of that water bottle could have blinded Kyrie Irving. That could have hit him upside the head. It could have did anything to him.
He could have ended up having if it hits him upside the head, he might end up having to get stitches. Yeah, no. It's not when you start throwing something from that far away, and suppose he doesn't hit Kyrie Irving, suppose he hits like a security guard, suppose he hits another fan. It's a safety issue, and I agree with you with the Trae Young situation. Like MSG should have pressed charges against the fan, not it's up to Trae Young, whatever. Like the minute you spit on another person, and in the middle of a goddamn pandemic too, and right. I'm not sure if Trae Young is vaccinated or not, but spitting on another, human being is one of the most disgusting things you can do. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and you don't know where the person has been. And that could cause another outbreak of like a virus or something like that. You spitting on a person, you don't know. So,
and you know what I find crazy about all this is how lucky he and see that's what and I'll tell you one thing. What's so crazy about that incident with Trae Young? You know how was the hitting 50 Cent girlfriend? Like I guarantee you, if it would have landed on her, 50 would have beat the mess out of that dude. See, but he knew like because he knew Trae couldn't do it. And as far as that, it's almost like to me, it feels like the internet, where it's like people, these green eggs, they go after like Kevin Durant, and then he the one that looked like all the aggressor, and he look like he's crazy for responding to something stupid like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really think at this point, because that's the only way I think you can legislate, or not legislate, of ending these type of these incidents. You have to start. These arenas going to have to really like start pressing charges on these guys, because the bans, I don't think that's going to work, because how the security and all these people going to always be debriefed every time, every game, make sure you don't watch out for this particular person. It's kind of hard to monitor that type of situation. And even going back to the Malice at the Palace thing, where it's just like, I also thought about that too, where it's just like, God, if Trae Young could get like a swing on him, like in the alleyway or something, but still, then that person, they're still going to add clout to that person because, he hit me, I'm going to have an assault charge, this, that, and the third. So it's just more so, I think the biggest thing is because whatever these fans, they really here for clout. It's for clout. They only doing this because, hey, I'm on Sports Center, I'm on TNT, I'm on this, that, and the third. They're gonna talk about me the next morning. I'm gonna overshadow the actual game itself by me being like, you think about like the incident with Kyrie Irving the other night. That was the main story yesterday on every sports network. And when the same situation with Trey, the next morning, it was the biggest story. And I like it, that's what it boils down to. Once we stop giving these people attention and start charging these people, that's the only way I think that's the only way this stuff is gonna stop. Because we just live in a world now where clout is everything, and it's a shame.
It's definitely a shame.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just hoping we don't have any more. Well, I know we're bound to have some more. But just to a point where I just don't want nobody to get hurt. Because
Yeah, man.
JB point where somebody could be walking right next to Kyrie who was shorter than Kyrie and could have really got, because he was like a few inches away. And if he would have had somebody to his right and may have been like maybe maybe about a few inches shorter than him, that would hit him right in the eye.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
You got to think about a water bottle coming from that far too. There was probably water in it. It probably was gaining momentum on the way down. All that, so it could have done some damage.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But I think
And,
by far the worst one to me is the spitting thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If anybody spits on you, you know what's gonna happen. As a man, even if you take disrespect or not, I don't think you're gonna let anybody spit on you. So.
Right.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
God forbid they would have did that to the wrong player too that didn't care about losing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Or even to, like I said, even like with 50. 50 was inches away from it. Like, and especially his girl, the lady he was with. I think this is his girlfriend. It's here no there, but she was very, very close to getting that.
You saw her reaction, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I knew, because it's like, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But like you said, it's getting out of hand, and that's another thing too. And these fans gotta realize this stuff is a privilege. Like. Mm-hmm. Going to these games, and you would have thought, especially after last year where they canceled, we couldn't go to games, and we sitting watching these games at home, and then you have an opportunity to go to these games after a year and a half, and then you become a jackass and do something stupid like these things that has happened.
Yep.
Yeah, it's dumb, but yeah, man. So, fellas, let's talk about the LA Lakers.